worst case situation, if our little boy at one point in his life, he needed to be in a wheelchair and he needed full on care, would you still love him? And we, without a doubt in our minds, we knew no matter what state he came to us, that we would love him. And that's one thing that I'm starting to love about this process is...
Guys, don't you just hate it when YouTubers do something and then when they do bad things? Yeah, me too. I understand your quarrels. Today's video we're talking about YouTuber Myka Stauffer and her partner James. They're under some criticism lately because, well, you know what? They returned their adopted child because he had a mental disorder that the child couldn't help. But, you know, kid was too hard. Let's give him back. Basically, about 2 years ago, Myka Stauffer and her partner James, they were like, hey, let's adopt a Chinese child. Why am I so blurry? They adopted a Chinese child by the name of Huxley. And, you know, they made tons of videos about the adoption process and how, oh, look how excited we are for this child. Look, we have this child now. Oh my god, our Chinese baby. Wow. You know, trying to pull this whole, like, oh, look, I'm aesthetically adopting babies and blah, 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 blah. And look at me. I'm so hip. Later, they found out that the kid has autism. And you know what they decided to do? Let's send him back.
So, I mean, you guys have been part of this adoption journey even before, you know, we picked up Huxley throughout the whole process. And, you know, with international adoption, sometimes there's unknowns and things that are not transparent on files and things like that. And once Huxley came home, there was a lot more special needs that we weren't aware of and that we were not told. So over the past few years, Huxley's been in numerous therapies to try to help him with all of his needs. And over the last year has been a more intense therapy that he's been in to try to help him as much as possible with his severe needs. And for us, it's been really hard hearing from the medical professionals a lot of their feedback and things that have been upsetting, really upsetting for us, because this is not what we've ever wanted to hear. We've never wanted to be in this position, and we've been trying to get his needs met and help him out as much as possible. It's really hard, isn't it? I mean, we truly love him.
There's not an ounce of our body that doesn't love Huxley with all of our being. There wasn't a minute that I didn't try our hardest. And
in this clip, this guy James, he's, you know, talking about how hard it is. Oh, the therapy we put him through, all the things that we did to get through to him. We tried so hard, but it was just too hard for us. Oh, I don't take him seriously when he's like, I don't know, he's crying about it, but like, you gave him away. That's on you. That's on you. I just don't understand why you would adopt a child and then give him back, even if it's hard. Because if it was one of your own kids, would you send him back? If one of your daughters had autism, would you send them back? Would you give them away? She'd be like, oh, well, this one didn't come out right, so that's wrong. That's messed up. That's a no-no for me. That's one more no-no. A YouTube friend of mine by the name of It's Ben, I will put his link in the description, actually went back to those adoption process videos and found out that they might have actually known that he had autism from the beginning, but just chose to ignore it.
Found a video of one of the videos of her talking about the process of adopting Huxley, who by the way is the child who has been unfortunately sent back, and she does seem to be aware of the fact that Huxley may have some underlying health issues, but dismisses them as the individual telling her as being discouraging to adoption.
But her prognosis and everything for our son just went drastic. She kind of almost discouraged us from adopting him, like saying that this is going to be severe, this is going to be a lot, you know, we don't know what unknown elements could be. And for us, it was hard. It was hard to hear somebody say that, but for me, more than anything, I go from one diagnosis to a totally different diagnosis. But immediately when she gave me another diagnosis, I looked at the bright side. I was like, you know, that could be awesome. There could be so many good things about that second diagnosis. And we asked for a couple more videos from the foster mama that is taking care of our little boy right now. and she provided them. And if anything, my child is not returnable. So when I heard all of the things that doctor was telling us, it kind of went in one ear and out the other. I wasn't in a state of denial. I accepted and took on everything that she said. And I sat down with Jim. I said, you know, worst case situation, if our little boy at one point in his life, he needed to be in a wheelchair and he needed full on care, would you still love him? And we, without a doubt in our minds, we knew no matter what state he came to us, that we would love him. And that's one thing that I'm starting to love about this process is...
See, clearly right here, she says that they were trying to discourage her. Oh, they don't want us to adopt this baby because they told us that there were underlying problems. But we don't care about that. We don't care about those problems. Whatever. We're gonna raise this kid. We don't care about those underlying problems. But clearly she does, because 2 years later she would eventually give him up. They told you from the beginning that there might be something there, and you chose to ignore it. That's on you. You can't blame the child for that. That is 100% on you. You are the adult that decided, I will go through the adoption process and I will take this child, I will raise him as my own, and I will make him part of my life. And then you said, never mind, I don't want you anymore. Sure, they might have been like, oh, it was a hard decision. But at the end of the day, you said, hey kid, live with us, we will treat you like our own. You don't do that. Then you say, I don't want you anymore. Here, go back. It sounds harsh and blunt, but that's the reality. A couple of other clips have resurfaced that kind of show that they pick and chose their favorites. Now, a lot of the time when parents have their own kids and then they adopt, sometimes they show favoritism to their own children. That's not good, but sometimes it happens. Clearly it happened with Huxley. For example, when they were trying to get Huxley to stop sucking on his thumb, they taped his hands shut. So that way he couldn't suck on his thumbs, they wrapped duct tape around his hands so he couldn't suck on his thumbs anymore. But their daughter, that's 4 years older than him and has no autism. My cat just played a guitar. Their daughter was clearly sucking on her thumb in this video. The mom sees it and she doesn't care. It's whatever. It's a little girl. They're sucking on their thumb. Why is it wrong for this adopted child to do it? Why are you wrapping duct tape around his hands? It's just showing favoritism, saying that, you know, one kid is allowed to do things because they're ours, and the other one is, oh, that kid is so problematic and they have all these problems. It really just seems like it's the parents. There've been another couple clips and stuff showing like, oh, Huxley's being fussy. Oh, he doesn't want to listen to us, blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, it just looks like the baby's just a little upset. But, like, the parents are kind of, like, being dicks about it. Sorry, being weenies about it. We're a family-friendly channel, guys. Now, as an adoptive father, I know what it's like to have a child that's problematic. I'm 100% in agreement with you. Child of mine, I would never give you up, even though you are a monster sometimes. Mwah. I love you. This whole thing just really bugs me because you promised these things to this kid that's seen rejection his entire life, and then you reject him again. What's that gonna do to him? Imagine how hard his life is gonna be now. You might say it's a little kid, he's not gonna remember it. Babies are sponges and they absorb all of that. Maybe he won't remember it directly, but subconsciously, he will go through his life feeling rejection because that's all he knows. Growing up, he was only rejected. Now he only knows rejection. And, you know, they played a role into that. And now I feel really bad for the kid. The mom, Myka, commented on all of this criticism, and she basically blamed all of this on the child. She said, oh, the child 100%. We knew that the kid wanted to go. The kid did not want to be with us. The kid wanted to go to someone else. First of all, right? A kid doesn't know what it wants. All right? I'm just saying that right off the get-go. Most of the times, they don't know what they want. They're little kids. You're telling me that this little 3-year-old, I think he is, was like, yeah, you know what, father, mother, I don't want to live with you anymore. I want to go back to China. Yep, that's exactly what I want. It seems scummy to me that you would put the blame on the kid when it's clearly your fault, and you should just accept that it's your fault. I don't know what the trial here is. There's no trial. You adopted the kid, said, I want you, and then said, I don't want you. Go back, go away. You wanted to leave. I didn't want you to leave. You wanted to leave. It's just scummy. It's scummy seeing YouTubers using a literal child for money and clout. At the end of the day, I feel bad for the kid. I can't help him. All I can do is let you know that those two are probably not that great of, I don't know, they're not that great of people, honestly, in my opinion. Now, I didn't know who they were before this, but now I only have a negative opinion of them. That just sealed, even if they were like my favorite YouTuber, and they did that, sealed the fate. I don't like you anymore. That is just messed up. Don't blame a kid for their mental disorders. That's not on them. Alright, they can't choose. I went a bit off script there at the end because I genuinely am upset at this. I feel bad for the kid, and I wish there was some way I could help him. With that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This situation is really messed up, in my opinion. Just really bad, just in general. Handled it terribly. Leave your opinion down in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this. And I will see you guys later. Later. Oh, what? I was in a bedroom this whole time. Haha, I'm gonna go now. That was my epic outro. Whoa. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go now. This is my room. You guys go.
She slipped in my fingers like sand. Heard that she got a man. Now I'm just sitting here sad. Oh well, ship sail. She slipped in my fingers like sand. Heard that she got a man. Now I'm just sitting here sad. Now I'm just sitting here sad. She slipped in my fingers like sand.